Thank you all for tuning back in to Elisha Gresham's campaign for Polk County Commissioner for November 2026. So, I wanted to get right into things with you, but first of all, Florida, we need to calm down and unwind because I'm going to tell you, Florida, Polk County got everybody like on pins and needles and like they just can't breathe, like they just need some air, some space. Lighten up, loosen up a little bit. That's what we need. I mean, it's just too much going on and people just not sure how to react. I mean, anxiety all over the place. So Polk County and Florida, calm down, breathe. First of all, we need to make sure that we vote for a candidate like myself who listens to the constituents and listen and respect what the voters think as a community and not just do what we want to do because we don't care what you think. But how many times have we been forewarned about this from different presidents, different leadership? We have been warned. And then Ronald Reagan's own words, either you will control your government or your government will control you. These are the things that we must keep in mind. We have to keep these kind of things in mind. We do not want a county or a board or government that is going to be coming after us. We don't want that. We don't want them to play against us. We want them to play with us and actually not play. We want them to work with us. And this is what we want. This is who you want to vote for. This is why you want to vote for me, because I will make sure that we reach across the table and work together as a team. That's what we want. We also don't want to slowly lose our right to freedom of speech. We really have to be careful when we're signing these little agreements to be on someone's public social media platform, because sometimes their terms and conditions sort of bump up against your right to freedom of speech. And you have to be careful of that, because there's some people out there, people that want to tear our Constitution apart, and we're just not having it. And we're not going to let people to keep biting at our freedom of speech because they want us to come to be reliant on the technology, really. And technology is just really pulling us away from our freedom of speech. But these are the things we want to look out for. And this is why I say we need to vote me in and write my name in on the ballot. Please. You want to vote for someone who supports the elimination of the primary property taxes. And remember, on June 2nd, the Florida legislature passed the biggest property tax change in the state history, HJR1F, like in Frank, the Save Our Homes from Excessive Property Taxes Amendment. Cleared the House 75-26 and the Senate 30-90. It would have raised the homestead exemption from $50,000 to $150,000 and in 2027 and $250,000 in 2028, wiping out non-school property taxes for roughly 60% of Florida homesteaded owners, and directs the legislature to develop through general law a schedule for full elimination. Florida voters, now decide. The ball is in your court. It's in the voters' court on November 3rd. We need 60% to get this executed. So people, please, this is how important this primary or this election is, this general election coming up. This is how important, this is how important it really is. So please, vote the person in that supports the elimination of the property taxes. And remember, it'll be up to you to do this. They've done now, the governor and them have done their part. Now it's time for the voters to do their part. And then we want to do this so we can be able to afford houses again. I mean, right now, nobody can really afford, so they're selling these houses for all these high prices, way more than what the houses are worth. Some of the people was beat anyway out of, buying a house initially from a higher price than what it should have been probably 4 or 5 years ago. So now they got to sell it for higher, because that's what you call a house underwater. It's not really, it wasn't worth it when they bought it, say 3, 4, or 5 years ago for what they spent. Now they got to sell it for higher because they got to pay the mortgage companies back, unless they're going to take a loss and just pay the difference back to the mortgage company in payments. But, we have to get these property taxes down. We have to property taxes is just one avenue of making life more affordable. Just one. Okay? We want to prevent and decrease foreclosures and rental and evictions. This all starts there. It all starts there, because that brings down minimum payments, monthly payments, and everything. It brings it right on down. Makes it comfortable again for a moment, at least for most of us. And if you want to prevent the gentrification monster, is what I call it, where you got to be careful that this gentrification is riding in the background on everything. And we want to make sure that gentrification does not happen. So we want to vote that out. We don't want gentrification. It is a monster. It does nothing but just take your money and keep feeding it to other little monsters. That's all it does. Then we have, you want to prevent and avoid homelessness by being proactive with our community and housing planning. This is all the things that we are about, especially me, when it comes down to voting me in and writing my name in on a ballot. These are the issues that are facing us today. Some of the issues, and we want to go ahead and get those out, especially now dealing with the data centers. Let's not forget about them. Don't give them an inch. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You give them a mile, they'll take your whole block. You give them your block, they'll take your county. You give them your county, they will take your state. So the point is do not give them an inch at all. That's the whole point. We're going to focus on stopping the growth of data centers in our communities. Lakeland is now on the map for the possibility of a data center. It hasn't been approved or anything yet. Lakeland is still standing strong against it. So they can say, oh, well, it's going to be different. It's not going to be any different. It's still going to require the same utilities as the rest of the data centers. To me, I think data centers should really just go be on an island somewhere, isolated and not put right in our communities or on the land with us, and where we got to share our water and electric and all of that with them. No, They need to have their own little island, kind of like Elon Musk said. He wants to put them up in space somewhere, and that's just where they belong. Somewhere up there. We want to increase our right to privacy now with this digital age really just pushing on through and becoming more strong. You want to increase your right to privacy because, I know I'm not the only one. We all know that these smart devices listen to us. You listen to your conversations, listen to what you're talking about. It watches what you're searching on your phone so it can give you an, advertisement on it. No. We don't want our privacy. That is also part of our right and our Constitution, right to privacy. We gave it up unknowingly, most of us, because we wanted that cell phone. We wanted that, laptop. We wanted to download, certain apps, but those certain apps ask you to give up some of your privacy or give up all of your privacy. And I think that needs to be stopped too. I think we tried to do that on a federal level. I think we need to go back to doing that, because why do they need to know all of that about you just for you to use the phone, or to get text messages or to text someone? These are the things we need to be looking at, and this is why I say we need to vote me in. We want to reduce political candidates in support of data centers and who rejects the elimination of property taxes. I don't get it why there are political candidates, not even candidates. Some of them have been there and have been in their seat for a long time. Why do they want to go against what's best for the people? That's what I don't understand. And it doesn't matter what party you're in. So it's not about a party. It's not about a race or a gender. It's about people, personal preference. Once they get there, they forget you're not the boss. The people who put you in that seat are the boss, and you need to listen to them. We want to vote people like me in who are candidates who are not in support of data centers and who supports the elimination of property taxes. Remember, we need 60% of us to eliminate those property taxes. 60% of the vote. And remember, don't let the questions trick you up. There should only look for just one question. Do you want to eliminate property taxes? Yes or no? Yes, you do. Do you want property taxes? Whichever way the question is worded, that's the way you answer it. If it says, do you want property taxes? Yes or no? No, you don't. So either way, it don't even answer all them other ones, because I think they're going to try to trick it up. But if you answer all the other ones, we won't make 60%. And not enough of us vote as it is. So people, please get out there and vote. This election is very important. We got to start with improving the living standards and educational resources and affordability for senior citizens, our retired, disabled, and their caretakers. We need to remember they're caretakers. A lot of people forget about the caretakers in these situations who are helping to take care of our seniors and our retired and disabled. So we want to make sure there is enough resources out there for them. This is what we want to be doing with our money when we pay anybody's property taxes. We also want to make sure that teachers get their salary increases they were promised a few years ago. Teachers do a lot, and we want to show our appreciation for the teachers. We want to produce a much better and efficient county budget with smarter spending by placing firm limits on government spending. We want to address citizens' concerns regarding speeding camera violations. Now, people are out here speeding like they have no sense, like bats out of hell. But the cameras do help, but we also want to make sure those cameras aren't just money grabbers and that they're not being unfair to our good citizens who are also out there driving. We want to make sure that the camera is catching what it needs to be catching, not just for red lights. I'm talking about speeding cameras as well that aren't at red lights. They're just sitting somewhere hiding, waiting to catch someone speeding. So speeding is anything over 10 miles per hour, but be careful because that camera is digital. So remember, digital is always not exact. So if you're doing exactly 45 in a 35 zone, the camera's going to say you're doing 46, or it's going to say you're doing 44. Remember, it fluctuates. It's no different from your GPS when your GPS shows you how fast you're going. So keep that in mind. Don't play it too close to, if it says don't go 10 miles per hour over the speed limit or up to that, if the speed limit is 35, I wouldn't go past 42 or 43. That's it. Because if you're getting too close to the 44, 45, and then 46, the camera will take you right on up. Even that's really, that's really breaking the law. So you really should stay at 35 as best you possibly can. And we want to start helping to bring down some of the cost of groceries, goods, and selling better quality of food and products to our communities. I say this because I don't know about you all, but sometimes when I get the fruit home, it takes me about 10 minutes to start putting them away once I unload the car and everything. I don't know about you all, but I've seen fruit literally deflate while I'm getting ready to put it away. It can look real good and strong in the store. By the time I get it home, say about maybe 10 minutes later, 10, 15 minutes from home, it shouldn't deflate like that. And a lot of the food is not lasting as long. So that's something else we want to look at, because we don't want nobody selling us all this high price food and it's no good. Or even high price, electronics, high price appliances, high price mattresses, or whatever, clothing, and they're cheap quality, and they're selling it to us Floridians like we're dumb for all of this money, because the quality really got rejected probably from another state, and they come here and say, oh yeah, Floridians are dumb, we'll sell it to them. No, we want better quality groceries, and we want better quality products. If you're going to be selling products for that much money, they better be better quality, not something where you're replacing a mattress every 2 years. You should not be having to replace a $2,000 or $2,500 mattress every 2 years. I'm sorry, not absolutely not. That means that's not a very good made mattress, or you're just really throwing that mattress all around the room somewhere, because that is not a very good mattress. So keep these things in mind, people. And that also goes for us having to address some of the citizens' concerns with the car dealership, the used car dealerships. We need to be more attentive, listen to them more attentively. We'll be, just taking a look back at some things that of everyday life. This is what I'm about. I'm about the same things you're about. The same things that set you off during the day sets me off as well. These are the things we need to look at. We also need to address any government, corporate authority, bullying, and or retaliation of our community citizens. Because a lot of our citizens are afraid to talk because they're afraid of retaliation. They should not be afraid of retaliation. No one should be afraid of retaliation from any government or corporate authority or anything like that, because they want to, shut you up and silence you. No, it's your legal right to talk. It's your right to use your voice. This is why you vote Elisha Gresham for Florida's Polk County Commissioner in November 2026, because I'm about business, not about games, not about trickery, not about deception. I'm about the business as far as making sure that our citizens in Polk County can live a decent, affordable, normal life like things used to be. And remember, if you want change for the better, then I'm that person for all of us. Life is better together. Let's vote to make it make sense. This November 2026, vote for Elisha Gresham for Polk County Board of Commissioners. And remember, write my name in on the ballot. Take a picture of it so you learn how to spell it or whatever, or you know how to spell it. You can just open your phone up and write it right on in there. Another thing is, voters, it's your time to decide. Okay, this is your election, and make sure you know that. Remember, again, if you behave the same and you vote the same, you'll get the same. The same as what you're going through now. Struggles and challenges and unfair and unjust policies and procedures and laws out there, and politicians who don't even listen to you and don't care what you have to say. So again, if you vote the same, you behave the same, you get the same. But if you do vote the same, don't complain. Don't even complain. Shame on you. Because now you're going to have to go back. Everybody's going to have to go back through the same old thing that we're going through right now. So do me a favor. I want you not just really do me a favor. I want you to do yourselves a favor. I want you to live your best life and be better than you were yesterday. It is important that we do this. My name is Elisha Gresham, and I approve this message. Thank you for tuning in.